Howdy folks, and welcome to game number 13 of week 3 of this HTFL season, the first inaugural season. I guess you could call it the 2020 season. Today we have San Francisco traveling to Seattle. San Francisco 1-1, Seattle 0-1 to start the year. They lost to Denver. San Francisco, the Gold Raiders, a combination of the San Francisco 49ers and the Oakland Raiders. They opened up with a win on the very first HTFL game against Kansas City, and then they lost to New England. And it's going to be a cool day at Quest Field in Seattle, 64 degrees, a calm wind. I'll be controlling Seattle as they are the home team. Steve Young quarterbacking for San Francisco, Russell Wilson doing likewise for Seattle. It'll be Bill Walsh on one sideline and Pete Carroll, who took Seattle to their only Super Bowl win, on the other sideline. We have Lockett back deep for Seattle. They will be in the bluish squares, San Francisco wearing their road whites and red lettering and numbering. And let's get this game underway. And this is going to be a touchback 6 yards deep as Lockett will not bring it out. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 20. My apologies for the late time tonight. The late start time of 10 o'clock, as I'm having a little bit of roof done on my abode. Work done on the abode, getting some painting done. I actually got the recording this right on time, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, but I decided early on, just in case they were going to be here a while, that I would just put it up a little later. And you never know, in Florida you got storms and whatnot. So let's set the lineup for Seattle and San Francisco when the Seahawks have the ball. Alexander and Smith are your running backs. Largent and Blades your wideouts. Carlson at tight end. Wilson at quarterback. Jones, Hutchinson, Unger, Kendall, and Heck is your offensive line. Front five. San Francisco's defense will be Haley and Hardman at defensive end, Namalini and Young defensive tackle, Mack, Willis, Peterson your linebackers, Brown and Hayes, Willie Brown and Lester Hayes. Oh, talk about a great defensive backfield. Ronnie Lott and Grayson are going to be your defensive backs. We'll start the game by giving it to Sherman Smith, trap left. Bet you didn't see that one coming. And Smith, who was a fine running back for the Seahawks back in their early years in the 70s. He picks up 3 on the left side. Haley brings him down. It'll now be 2nd and 7. We'll go Largent, medium slant. Wilson throws underneath instead to Smith, and he's got a first down. Smith was a very good receiver out of the backfield for those 70s Seahawks teams. Didn't make their first playoff run until 1983, I believe, and they were a game away from the Super Bowl the year the Raiders won it all, Super Bowl 18, which was the first Super Bowl played in my neck of the woods of Tampa, Florida. We'll go to Sean Alexander, trap right. That's a nice gain of 6.
Offsides, defense. Number 73, 5-yard penalty.
And they'll get Leo Namalini for offsides. They will not take the yardage. They'll take a 2nd and 4 instead of 1st and 5, and that might have been a mistake on my part, which I do make from time to time if you watch these games. Trap left, Sean Alexander again. And this time he picks up 2, so it's 3rd and 2 for Seattle. Probably be keying on Alexander, so we'll go back to Sherman Smith. And that's close to the first down. Yes, they got it. They got it. As I open up my Coke. And it will be Peterson who brought him down. And it's 1st and 10 Seattle at the 41. We have 12:46 left, opening quarter. Off tackle right, Sean Alexander. Seattle wants to pound the rock early on. Young on the tackle after no gain. We'll go to Brian Blades on a 2nd and 10 play, short out. And Wilson gets sacked by Leo Namalini. And that's a loss of 4 as the Bluebirds come out in Seattle. Daryl Jackson will come in as a 3rd wide receiver, and they will go to him on a plus route medium hitch on 3rd and 14, hoping he can get the 14 yards. But instead they throw underneath to Largent, but he only picks up 3, and they'll be short of the first down. Back to punt is John Ryan. He of those great Seahawks teams of the 2010s, and that's a nice return for Maxwell, a pickup of 18. So San Francisco starts 1st and 10 at the 32. The Gold Raiders will get their first crack at the ball offensively. Gore and McElhenney will be your running backs for the 49ers. And not the 49ers, but the Gold Raiders. There I go blowing that. Rice and Terrell Owens, your running backs. Not your running backs, but your wideouts. Gordy Soltau will be your tight end. Shell, Upshaw, Otto, Cross, St. Clair, a very stout offensive line for the Gold Raiders. And Young will be your quarterback. On defense, it's going to be Green and Sinclair at defensive end, Kennedy, Nash at defensive tackle, Brown, Wagner, Wright on the linebacker core, Sherman, Brown, Easley, and Robinson will be your defensive backfield, so the Legion of Boom well represented on this all-time Seattle squad. 1st and 10, ball to 32, with 10:14 left opening frame. And that's a give to Gore. Gore picks up 4. McElhenney got hurt. His return is questionable. They bring Billy Wilson in as San Francisco goes to 3 wideouts. And Springs comes in as the defensive back for Seattle on 2nd and 6. This time the give to Gore was a little more fruitful, a gain of 11. Roger Craig is going to come in and serve as the fullback of sorts in this formation. He will be good out of the backfield to catch passes. 1st and 10, ball to 47. That pass caught by Gordy Sotal for 16 yards. It was Robinson on the tackle for the Seahawks. Now with 9:14 left in the first quarter, it's 1st and 10 at the Seattle 37. Deflected by Robinson and incomplete. If you're looking at the Seattle lineup and you see that double zero, that was the number of Jim Otto, who played for the Raiders back in the 60s, maybe early 70s. 2nd and 10 now. The give to Craig. Craig picks up 2 in that 2-back shotgun formation that San Francisco uses. And it's now 3rd and 8 at the 35. The pitch to Gore, and Gore only gets 4. And now we'll move it out to the 31 for a 48-yard field goal try. Snap is good, the kick is good, and that was by Sebastian Janikowski. He played for Oakland, and the 49ers take a 3-0 lead with 7:03 left. Lockett back deep for Seattle. And that's going to be returnable, we'll say. 2 yards deep. We'll take a risk here. And it's a nice return for Lockett all the way out to the 36. Pick up of 38 yards. 1st and 10 at the 36. We'll go Alexander, trap left. Seattle wants to spend a lot of time running the ball against this vaunted defensive backfield out of San Francisco. But it looks like you'll see that the trap left and trap right plays are highlighted in orange. That means that San Francisco is noticing that we're calling that play quite frequently. It's a gain of 3, tackled by Lott. 2nd and 7, stretch play to Alexander. As they move the linebackers over and try to boost blocking that way. It's a loss of a yard. Peterson on the stop. So now Wilson will have to throw here on 3rd and 8. We'll go to Blades, medium slant. Wilson will instead run close to the first. He gets it. Johnson on the tackle. The 5th defensive back who came in the game for the Gold Raiders, Jim Johnson, you see him there. Played on those early 70s 49ers teams that just missed the Super Bowl on 2 occasions. We're going to go outside run, Sean Alexander, on 1st and 10 from their own 46. And that's not much of a pickup, a loss of 2, but
number 86,
Hardman
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Called for a grab of the face mask, a blatant one, and that's 15 yards. So move the ball to the Seattle 39 on 1st and 10. Play action will go medium fly to Steve Largent. Broke all kinds of records in his playing days with the Seahawks. A gain of 17. And it's now 1st and 10 at the 22. Screen pass, Sherman Smith. San Francisco is bunched in tight. In Seattle, runs the screen for 7 yards. Smith with the reception. That was his second of the day for 15 yards total so far. We'll go to Carlson on a short slant. 2nd and 3. That's not completed. Didn't see who provided the best defensive coverage for the Gold Raiders, but on 3rd and 3, we'll bring 2 tight ends into the game. That'll bring in Carlson and Stevens, and we'll go bootleg with Russell Wilson. Seattle's got to get creative against this pass defense of the Gold Raiders. He gains 2, and it'll be 4th and 1 from the 13. Too early to go for it here, so Josh Brown will come on and try one from 30 that would tie the game. It's good. And we're dead even with 2:20 left. Opening quarter, 3-3. We have Woodson back deep, and he's a deep threat from the kickoffs for the 49ers. He's a guy who could break one. And there he broke one for 26 yards out to the 34. So Steve Young comes back on. The former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, former member of the Los Angeles Express of the United States Football League. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 34 for the Gold Raiders. Marker down before the play.
False start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
It's Otto who gets called for false start. So it's 1st and 15, ball to 29 now. San Francisco went to a shotgun formation. They pitched it to Gore out of that, and that's a 4-yard gain. Another 4-yard gain for Gore. 4 carries for 23 yards. As we near the end of the first quarter, 2nd and 11. It's Young on the throw, and he finds Soltel again for 13. Kenny Easley on the stop for Seattle. 1:25 left. 1st and 10, ball to 46. Give to Gore. Gore on the left side gains 6 before Bobby Wagner could bring him down. Should be the last play of the quarter coming up. And that's to Gore, and he picks up 2. That's the end of the first quarter. Your score, San Francisco 3 and Seattle 3. Back with you to start this second quarter of play. Don't forget we have at 11 o'clock tonight, a little later because of some personal goings-on, we have Franchise Hockey Manager. We will have the December 12th, 1979 game between the Hartford Whalers and the Los Angeles Kings out in Los Angeles. So the late start, probably what fans of the Hartford Whalers had to go through back then. 3rd and 2, ball to 46 of Seattle. Young looking and finding Wilson, but it'll come back as Art Shell gets called for an offensive hold. Move the Gold Raiders back 10, and it'll be 3rd and 12. Ball will be at their own 44. Just starting the second quarter, a 3-3 stalemate right now. Young throws deep, and he finds a touchdown, and that was Terrell Owens. Young to Owens. And San Francisco has themselves 6. About to be 7. Here's Janikowski, and he puts it through. And your score is now 10-3. We're 22 seconds into the second quarter. Lockett back deep for Seattle, and they will down it. Russell Wilson comes back on the field, who played some minor league baseball. So if you look in the database of OOTP 21 or any of the more recent out-of-the-park games that has the minor leaguers in it, you'll find them. Off tackle right, Sean Alexander. And Alexander with running room. Oh my, he picks up 32 yards. Getting him to 42 yards on 6 carries. Peterson on the stop for San Francisco. We'll go long pass. We'll go for the gusto here and look for Blades on a base formation. Wilson sacked by Hardman. And that's a loss of 4. Second and 14 at the 48. And this is what happens when you go long sometimes, if you don't get good pass protection. Screen to Sherman Smith. San Francisco was playing prevent with 6 DBs in the game, and that was a gain of 3. Mack on the tackle for San Francisco. It is now 3rd and 11. We'll go the 3 wide, put Wilson in the shotgun, and put a man in motion, and we'll look for Largent. Actually, this is not a good situation for Seattle. 3rd and 11. Medium fly to Blades. Not caught. Incomplete. That defense for San Francisco, that pass defense, is not going to give up much. So on 4th and 11, it'll be a sideline punt. John Ryan will go for the coffin corner. And that was down at the 11. San Francisco let it roll. No return. And Steve Young will get another crack at it. The Hall of Famer. 1st and 10 at the 11. Was looking for Hugh McElhenney, but that was incompleted. Covered by Wright. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 11 still. Young's going to throw long. Looking for Rice, and that's incomplete. Sherman provided coverage. Richard Sherman, out of Stanford, provided coverage on that. And it's 3rd and 10 from the 11. Will Seattle get a 3 and out? They will, as Cross, shaken up on the play, goes to the sideline. We'll be back probably on the next San Francisco series. The throw was to Sotal, and he only picked up 4 yards. So ball to 16. We'll set up a return here. Instead, it's fair caught by Lockett at the 33. So Seattle trying to get it done on the running game, not having too much success against this very good defense. A lot of people had San Francisco tapped to make the, perhaps win the championship, if not be a strong playoff contender in this HTFL. Trap right, Sean Alexander. And that would only make sense because the 49ers and Raiders are very good teams individually, and you're putting the two together. And who knows what you're going to find by the end of the year. Short hitch to John Carlson on 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard gain on 1st. That's caught for a gain of 11. Lott on the tackle. Ronnie Lott, Hall of Famer out of San Francisco. Played for the 49ers, of course, in the 80s and 90s. That's a 1st and 10 for Seattle at their own 48. We'll go Sherman Smith on a screen. Wilson calls time. They have 2 left the remainder of the first half. San Francisco still with all 3 of theirs. Pitch to the right. Sean Alexander, number 37. Played on that team that went to Super Bowl 40. Lost to the Steelers, and that's for no gain. First Super Bowl Seattle was in. 2nd and 10. Medium slant to Blades. Sacked by Haley. When Russell Wilson, with his scrambling ability, is in that pocket, he seems to be just prey for this Gold Raider defense. And now it's 3rd and 16. They'll put 4 wide in the game. And they'll go long, and they'll look for Joey Galloway, who has entered the game. There's the throw. There's the catch. They get it all back and then some, 23 yards. And it's 1st and 10 Seattle at the 35. Trap right, Alexander. That's a gain of 4. Peterson on the stop. And we will go off tackle right to Smith on 2nd and 6. Gain of 2. Brown on the stop. And it's now 3rd and 4. They'll go 3 wide. put a man in motion, and we'll go short pass to Steve Largent. That's incomplete. Brown provided defensive coverage there for San Francisco very, very well. And now a 46-yard field goal try for Josh Brown. No wind. Kick is up, but it's pulled to the right. No good. So San Francisco takes over with 6:20 left in the half with your score 10-3. They'll be looking for more points here on 1st and 10 from the 36. Give to Gore, and Gore picks up a huge chunk of yards, 8 yards. Robinson on the stop, and it's now a 2nd and 2. Great situation here for the 49ers. They could waste it down here should they choose to. Screen to Gore. Gore picks up the first down right then and there for 10. Brown on the stop. Ball on the 46 of Seattle now, 1st and 10. Give to Gore. Gore with running room again. Good for 14 yards. Seattle defense not as solid as San Francisco's, so they're pretty much doing what they want on both sides of the ball right now. 1st and 10 at the 32. They have 154 yards of total offense to Seattle's 125. Seattle has not committed a penalty yet. Gain of 11, Young to Gore. And San Francisco just keeps moving. 1st and 10 at the 21, 3:50 left in the half. Young can scramble. And he's got 16 yards. Wagner on the stop at the 5. 1st and goal at the 5. To McElhenney, and Hugh McElhenney from the University of Washington. One of the great players of San Francisco's early years, 1950s or so. Scores the touchdown. Here's the point after by Janikowski, and we have a 17-3 game. The Gold Raiders embarrassing the Seahawks so far in their home field. Here's the kickoff. Lock it back deep for Seattle. It will be returned. And a nice gain of 37 yards out to the 41. That's probably been one of the only bright spots for Seattle so far, has been their returns. We are going to throw it on 1st and 10. Just try to catch Seattle napping here. Jackson on a long pass. Just a generic long pass. Play action. There's the throw. It's deep. And it's caught. Gain of 55 to Largent. And it's 1st and goal at the 4. Seattle in business, but we have reached the 2-minute warning. 17-3 Gold Raiders. Okay, ball to 4. 1st and 10. We'll go to Alexander here. Can he find the end zone? No. Hardman tackles him after a gain of 1. Move the ball to the 3. Seattle will go no huddle. And they'll dive it with Smith. See if he can knock it in. And he does. Sherman Smith puts Seattle on the board with a touchdown. They had already kicked a field goal earlier. 17-9. Here's the point after, and that is by Brown. That is true. So it's 17-10. Woodson back deep for the Gold Raiders. This is coming out from inside the goal line. 4 yards deep. A stop at the 22 and a return of 26. So what could Steve Young do here? We have 1:22 to go. A 1st and 10. We'll see what happens. Long throw to McElhenney, and that's incompleted. It'll now be a 2nd and 10. Ball to 22 with 1:08 to go. Caught by Rice.
Personal foul. Defense.
And we have a scuffle
Number
breakout.
70, 15-yard penalty, automatic.
Scuffle
1st
broke
down.
out. And Sinclair has been called for a personal foul. And that's the defensive end. That's the replay of the last play. So San Francisco gets the benefit of 15 yards. 1st and 10 at the 41. 57 seconds left. Young will scramble. And that's another good gain for him of 12 yards. And San Francisco calls their first timeout of 3. They have 2 left. Seattle also with 2 left, should they get the opportunity to use them. 45 seconds left. They've now crossed the 50 into Seattle territory. San Francisco has first and 10 at the 47. Penalty down.
Encroachment defense. Number 96,
Kennedy.
5-yard penalty.
A defensive encroachment. Lincoln Kennedy, Cortez Kennedy, I'm sorry, out of the University of Miami. And it's first and 5 at the 42. 36 seconds to go. That's to Gore. Gore picks up 3. And I think the 49ers would call timeout here. They do. They have 1 left now. 2nd and 2 at the 39. 25 ticks to go. And that was to, let's see, Soltal, but he was well covered. Robinson and easily providing coverage. 3rd and 2 with 18 seconds to go. Perhaps time for a play or 2 more. A little screen pass when Young scrambled to Gore, but that was incomplete. Janikowski coming on, and he's going to try a kick from Tacoma, 56 yards. And he can hit it too, but not this time. No good. And with 1 second left, Seattle gets the ball. And they could take a shot at it here. They have 5 wide. And they're going to go for the Hail Mary. And they got Baldwin who they're going to throw it to. Can they get lucky? There's the heave. Going to be short. And incomplete. And that's your half. Pretty good first half, actually, as San Francisco built a strong lead, and then Seattle came back just a little bit. 17-10, San Francisco. With you to start the second half of play, San Francisco leading Seattle 17-10. 205 yards for San Francisco, 184 for Seattle. Russell Wilson, 8 out of 12 for 127, so he is making progress here and there against this vaunted San Francisco defense. Young, 8 out of 14 for 117 yards and a touchdown, and running the ball, he has 2 carries for 28 yards. So let's get the second half started. Woodson back deep for the Gold Raiders. Returnable. Let's see how far. A 24-yard return out to the 26. And Williams got to him for the Seahawks. First and 10, ball from the 26. They'll put it in play. Young, going to throw deep. It's complete to Wilson, and that's good for 20. Brown on the stop for the Seahawks. First and 10 at the 46 now. That's Hugh McElhenney who's about to get the ball, and he has a first down. A gain of 11. Wright brings them down. And it's first and 10 at the 43 now for San Francisco as they cross into Seattle territory already in just 2 plays. They were looking for Owens on the slant, but that was then completed. Second and 10 at the 43 now. Young going for Soltal, and that was incomplete. 2 back-to-back incompletions. Third and 10 from the 43. Screen to Gore. Gore will be short of... no, he will get the first down. Ball to 31 of Seattle. Gain of 12 on that last play. Bobby Wagner on the tackle. First and 10 at the 31. Incomplete. Marker
Holding
down.
Offense.
And it's coming
number
back.
63, 10-yard penalty.
Gene Upshaw, who would go on and become head of the Players Union back in the 80s and oversaw negotiations through a couple of labor stoppages, one in 1982 and one in 1987. And the NFL hasn't had one since. First and 20 for the Gold Raiders. I nearly said 49ers again. Ball at the 41. Young looking. And Gore. They were going to dump it to Gore, but that was incomplete. Young had trouble finding a open receiver there. Now second and 20. Young, he's going to run, and he's been very good on his feet
Personal foul. Defense.
So far.
Number 54, automatic.
And that's another
First
17
down.
yards, and add 12 for a personal foul, half the distance to the goal. Ball to 12, 1st and 10. A throw incomplete. Looking for Gore on the right sideline, but Robinson tipped it. And it's now 2nd and 10 from the 12. Reverse to Rice, and Jerry Rice, who had a few rushing touchdowns in his career, picks up 2 yards before Cortez Kennedy got to him. 3rd and 8 at the 10. Pitch to Gore, and Gore has the first. Richard Sherman gets to him at the 1. Sinclair will be out of the game. Vernon Davis is going to come in as a second tight end for the 49ers, not for the 49ers, but for the Gold Raiders. By the end of the season, I'll have this fixed in my brain, but I'm not there yet. 1st and goal, 1 yard from the goal line. Here's Gore. Gore could not go in. Wagner brought him down pretty much for no gain. 2nd and goal, 1 yard line again. Young going to throw, incomplete. Looking for Gordy Soltow. 3rd and goal to 1. This time it's to McElhenney, and McElhenney has himself another touchdown. Hugh McElhenney out of Washington, and it's 23-10. Here's the point after by Janikowski, and that's good. And your score is now 24-10. 10:13 left, 3rd quarter. Here's Lockett back deep for Seattle, and he'll return it 2 yards deep from his end zone. And Lockett.
Illegal block. Receiving team.
With a return of 33 yards, but it'll come back. Robinson called for an illegal block. So Seattle backed up half the distance. Actually, it was at the 20. It would have been half the distance anyway. It would have been at the 10. For a 10-yard penalty. We'll go Sherman Smith, short pass, 1st and 10 from the 10. Not there.
Holding. Offense. Number 66, 5-yard penalty.
Kendall called for holding, and it's now going to be a 1st and 15 from the 5, as that is a half the distance penalty. Off tackle right, Sean Alexander. And Alexander will do something there that we could not see. A pickup of 3 yards, actually, and Peterson makes the tackle at the 8. 2nd and 12 now for Seattle. They need something good to happen here. Screen to Sherman Smith again, but a marker down again.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 94, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
This time they get Charles Haley for encroachment. Charles Haley won several Super Bowls for San Francisco, then won one with the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd and 7, ball to 13. We're going to go Largent on a short slant. It's caught, fumbled. Alexander scoops it up, and that is going to be short of the 1st down by inches. A gain of 7, close to the line, but not there. We're going to go Wilson on a quarterback sneak. With his good running ability to use, and he picks up the yard needed for a 1st down. And we're going to keep it on the ground and go to Charlton Alexander off tackle right. Alexander picks up 8 before Brown gets to him. And it's 2nd and 2. A good throwaway down here for Seattle, should they choose to go that route. Play action to Blades, long pass. Caught. And Russell Wilson not afraid to go deep, and he picks up another 20. He's now 10 out of 14 for 154 yards. Trap right, Sean Alexander. Gain of 2. Young on the stop. 6:15 left, 3rd quarter. Still 24-10 San Francisco. How about John Carlson on a short hitch? Not there, incomplete. We'll go 3 wide, put a man in motion. We need 8 yards, so we'll go medium hitch to Largent. Who would later come along and be a congressman from Oklahoma. That was incomplete. Wilson instead tried to throw to Carlson as Mack and Willis came on a blitz for the Gold Raiders, and it fell incomplete. Seattle must punt on 4th and 8. We'll go Ryan on a sideline punt and just try to keep the Gold Raiders pinned.
Offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Penalty will be declined, and San Francisco will take over at the 13 with 5:22 left in the third. They lead by 14. And here's their first down play. It's a give to Gore, and Gore picks up 5. 2nd and 5 from the 18. This is the McElhenney. McElhenney back to the line, and that's all. No gain. A 3rd and 5 now. Incomplete. Looking for, didn't say who it was looking for, but Nash deflected it into the air and it falls to the ground before anybody could get to it. 4th and 5, so it's 3 and out for the Gold Raiders. I think we're going to put the special teams for Seattle on, to use here and go for the block. Yes, they need something good to happen. And instead, the punt gets away, and it's a punt of 53 yards by Davis. And Lockett picks up 2 yards on the return. Ball at the 31. 3:47 left third quarter. We're going to go right back to Sean Alexander for his 14th carry of the day. Good for 4 yards, so move him up to 68 yards on the day. He's the leading rusher on either team so far. And it's now 2nd and 6 from the 35. I nearly said 36. We're going to go to Smith, and we're going to make it an off-tackle right. Number 47, and he's got a first down, and he's got plenty more. 24 yards. Brown on the tackle. How about trap right to Alexander? Seattle just tries to keep it on the ground, which really doesn't suit them here, trailing by 14. Medium fly to Steve Largent on 2nd down and 5. Looking for number 80, he instead finds Alexander. They are just short of the first with a $1.18 in the third quarter left to go. Double tight end, and we'll go to Wilson again on a dive play. Take advantage of the agility of Russell Wilson, and it's 4 yards. 34 seconds left. That'll be the end of the third quarter. San Francisco 24, Seattle 10. Back with you to start the fourth quarter. 15 more minutes to go unless we go to overtime. Trap right, Sean Alexander. That's a nice gain. Seattle pounding the rock. 7 yards. They have 25 carries so far as a team for 129. San Francisco 20 for 133. Tackle left, Sean Alexander. A fumble recovered by the 49ers, and that's going to stand as it was a holding penalty against Seattle. So lightning strikes for the Seahawks. And now the Gold Raiders have it back, leading 24-10, 14:06 to go. Could be that far away from a 2-1 record. Give to Gore. Gore picks up nothing. Bobby Wagner got him at the line. And it'll be 2nd and 10 from that same spot, the 26-yard line, 74 yards away from the goal of Seattle. Gore injured on the play. He gains 6. His return is probable. They'll bring Garrison Hurst out of Georgia into the game at tailback. It'll now be 3rd and 4. Ball at 32. Hurst gets it, and he gets 1 yard. He needed 4. Easily comes up, lowers the boom on him at the 33. So, Seattle gets it back. 13:07 to go. And they will return it. It'll be inside the 20. Actually right at the 20, maybe a little past it. Nice return for Lockett of 16 yards. Move it to the 36 of Seattle with 12:31 left in the game unless we go to overtime. Pitch to the right, Sean Alexander, as Seattle stays committed to the running game. And that's a nice gain for the Alexander, who picks up 8. Let's profile him real quick out of Alabama. 12 carries, 43 yards against Denver. was not a factor in that Denver game that they lost. Seattle needing a better result today, where they go to 0-2. Off tackle right, Sean Alexander. He has 18 carries for 90 yards, and he picks up 5. Could Seattle be setting up something here? I think so, because I'm coaching them. Long pass, play action, to Blades. We've been killing them on play action pretty much in this game. Wilson, a pass deflected by Peterson, and it falls incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10. 3 wide. Jackson, medium fly. That's caught. 15 yards. Hayes, Lester Hayes, came up and made the tackle. Short hitch to Steve Largent, but a trouble with the snap. It looked like as Wilson had trouble getting away from the center, Young came up and sacked him for a loss of 4. Bryant Young out of Notre Dame. It's now 2nd down and 14. We'll go Alexander on a screen pass, but a marker down.
False start. Offense. Number 64, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's the last thing Seattle needed, a penalty there. It'll now be 2nd and 19 as Heck gets called for the false start. We'll go Alexander again, screen pass again. So try to pick up yards that way, and this one goes right off the hands of Alexander. Incomplete. 3rd and 19. So Seattle in desperate straits here. They're going to go to Galloway on a long hitch and hope they get something. Wilson throws. It's incomplete. And Jackson will leave the game and will return in a few plays. 4th and 19, so time to try for the coffin corner again. Ryan will try to soft shoe it in. And that's out at
offsides,
the 8.
Defense.
But offsides.
5-yard penalty.
Against the defense, that wouldn't change anything. It would be 4th and 14. They'll decline the penalty, and San Francisco sets up shop at the 8 with 9:06 to go. 1st and 10 from the 8. They go for a quick screen to Soltau, but that's going to be pass interference against Kenny Easley.
Automatic 1st down.
10 yards and a 1st down for the Gold Raiders. 9 minutes to go. Ball at the 18, and it will stay at the 18 as Gore gets back to the line, and that's it. 2nd and 10 at the 18. Back to Gore again, and a gain of 1 this time. Brown makes the tackle. 3rd and 9 at the 19. A throw, incomplete. Jerry Rice going to the referee and saying, "Would you mind throwing a hanky on that?" And the official's like, "No, I got like a plane to catch and get out of here." So it's 7:19 left. San Francisco will punt. Seattle desperately needs to get something here. And we'll see what happened. This is a punt return for a score. What happened was this. Despite the weird animation, Lockett made the catch at the 28, bobbled the ball. Jack Tatum came up and drilled him. He's playing special teams for this Gold Raider team. There was a fumble and a scramble, and Jim Otto, recovers for the Gold Raiders. And that's huge because it's now 1st and 10 at the 28. Young will throw, and it's intended for Wilson, tipped by Robinson, incomplete. 7:07 left to go. Ball to 28. San Francisco could put the game on ice here with a score. Any score, I would think. And Gore picks up 7 on the right side. Brown on the tackle at the 21. 6:57 left. 3rd and 3. They try a quick pass to Owens. Green was hurt on the play. He is out for the game. That was a 3rd down play. 3rd and 3. So Janikowski comes on. He'll try one from 38. You'd think this would be in his range, but it's blocked and recovered by Wagner. So Seattle still hanging on for dear life with 6:08 left to go in the game. Medium fly to Jackson. Incomplete. Wilson now has slacked off a little bit on the stat sheet. He's 12 for 22 for 174 yards. will go medium out to Steve Largent. That's caught instead by Blades, and he picks up 6. They'll go 4 wide, man in motion. Jackson, medium out. Not caught. And with 5:16 left, the Seahawks will have to punt. Here's Ryan. You really don't want to give it to San Francisco there this early late in the game with 5 minutes to go. You'd rather wait a couple of possessions before you do that. And that's a punt of 48. 10-yard return by Taylor, John Taylor. And it's 1st and 10 at the 24 for San Francisco. They lead 24-10. Screen to McElhenney, and he picks up 8. That was his first catch of the day. Young, 11 out of 26 for 157 yards. And it's now 2nd and 2. Rice catches it for 12, but it's coming back. Randy Cross, one of many on this San Francisco team who would go on and become commentators. It's called for holding. Steve Young being another that I could think of off the top of my head. 2nd and 12 at the 22. Gore up the middle. Dive play, and he picks up 8. 3rd and 4, 3:58 to go. Seattle might call a timeout if they get a 4th down, but they don't. A screen to Gore that picks up 12. That's 5 catches on the day for Gore to go along with his 17 carries. He has 89 yards rushing, 48 yards receiving. 3:08 to go. 3:06 to go, I should say. A fumble. Who's got it? Seattle does. Sinclair picks it up, runs it 21 yards to the 22 of San Francisco, and now Seattle all of a sudden with another shot here. Medium fly, play action, Ryan Blades, they're going to go for a score right here, and why wouldn't you? It's Blades making the catch, 15 yards. Seattle goes no huddle, 2:10 left. They're going to they won't be able to get it off before the 2-minute warning though, so the 2-minute timeout comes in handy. Each team with 3 timeouts left. It's 24-10 Gold Raiders. Back with you for these last 2 minutes, unless Seattle could pull a miracle here. And not a lot of good options here by the goal line of San Francisco. They will go short cross to Brian Blades. That's caught. They're a little closer at the 5. Wilson's going to go no huddle and go on a draw play. 2nd and goal at the 2. Can he get in? Yes, he can. Touchdown. Russell Wilson out of Wisconsin. And it's 24-16. The point after try is good. Now, interesting call here with 1:35 to go. Seattle has all 3 of their timeouts. Total yards has been about even. 328 for Seattle, 326 for San Francisco. You do an onside kick here? I would say yes. And it's going to be caught by San Francisco. Daniels on the recovery as Brown kicks it too far. But now Seattle has a minute 23 left, and they have all of their timeouts. So a 3 and out here. They get the ball back with probably some scant time left on the clock. San Francisco in a 3 wide receiver formation. This is rather strange, considering what they have to do. 1st and 10 at the 45. They do indeed give it to Gore. No gain. Wagner with his 10th tackle on the day. Seattle will burn a timeout. They have 2 left. It's now 2nd and 10 from the 45. They give it to Gore. Can they stop him? They can. No gain. Another timeout called by Seattle. We have a minute 11 to go. So this is it. 3rd and 10 from the 45. A first down would seal it. Incomplete. They threw a pass. I don't believe that. Soltal Young was looking for, but that was incomplete. Seattle's going to get the ball back with a minute 8 to go, and they wonder why on earth did they call an onside kick. Lock it back deep. Can he make something happen here inside the 15 by the time he gets the ball? And it's a return of 7. Seattle with one timeout left. They will probably work the sidelines, put Wilson in shotgun formation quite frequently, and they'll go medium out, medium fly to Blades. Ooh, this might be a mistake. Instead, they throw to
Offsides,
Carlson
defense.
for 6.
Number 94, 5-yard penalty.
But San Francisco commits a penalty and saves them. Time on the clock. They have 52 seconds left. 1st and 10. Medium out to Darrell Jackson. San Francisco needs a touchdown to tie. Gain of 7. Did he get out of bounds? He did. 46 seconds left. Can Seattle get something going here? Medium out to Blades on 1st and 10 from the 32. They need 68 yards. A sack by Haley. And Seattle's going to have to burn that last time out. They have 41 seconds to go. A 2nd and 16. And we're going to go medium out to Blades again. In the pocket. Throws. A gain of 6. And he gets out of bounds. Medium out to Steve Largent on 3rd and 10. That's caught, but short of the first down. 4th and 3. Seattle will go with 27 seconds to go. We'll go to Carlson. Quarterback must pass, and it will be a short out. Caught by Carlson. Did he get out? He did. 5 yards. So Seattle not dead yet with 22 seconds left. They'll put a man in motion. They'll give it to Blades. Medium out. It's caught. No, it's dropped. Ball was bobbled by Blades. Say that fast 10 times. To Jackson on a medium out with 19 seconds to go. Incomplete. Lester Hayes broke that up. 16 seconds left. We're going to go long out to Steve Largent. That's off his hands. Incomplete. 9 seconds left. And only one thing left to do here for Seattle, and that is to throw the Hail Mary and try to win it tie it up that way. They're too far away from the Hail Mary with 9 seconds to go, but there might be time for just one more play. Just going to throw it deep to Baldwin and see what happens. 4th and 10. Long throw, incomplete, and that's going to be the game. 2 seconds left to go. Seattle has no way of stopping the clock, so Young will take a knee. And San Francisco ekes out a win, 24-17 over Seattle. San Francisco to 2-1, Seattle to 0-2. See what happens here. San Francisco did not play the best game offensively. Young was kind of inconsistent, 12 for 28, 169 yards, but they did not give up a sack. It was the defense of San Francisco that came through. San Francisco had 6 runs of 10 yards or more to Seattle's 2. Seattle had the ball for 33-45 to 26-15 for San Francisco. Teams were about even on 3rd down conversions, 5 for 13 San Francisco, 5 for 14. Seattle hit the red zone of San Francisco 4 times and got 3 scores. 2 of them were touchdowns and 1 for field goal. San Francisco was 2 for 2. 2 red zone penetrations and 2 touchdowns. Looking at the player stats, and nothing really stands out. Alexander and Gore had good games running the ball, but neither one got to 100 yards. I would say maybe Hugh McElhenney deserves mention because he scored twice in his 4 touches of the ball, 4 carries of the ball for 17 yards, and he also caught a pass. Caught 3 passes, actually. No, 1 pass for 8 yards. Read the board wrong here. Scoring summary, you see it there. Russell Wilson with a touchdown, Smith with a touchdown, for Seattle, and the touchdowns were scored by Terrell Owens and then Hugh McElhenney twice. So your final, 24-17, San Francisco. And Seattle will probably wish they had that one back. Coming up tomorrow, it will be Los Angeles hosting San Diego. When Wednesday we have the Unplugged game where I will do minimal commentary, Arizona and Las Vegas. And then our Monday night game of sorts, Baltimore travels to Pittsburgh. Hope you enjoyed today's game. Stay tuned at 11 o'clock or shortly thereafter for Franchise Hockey Manager. And this has been Big Paulie coming to you. I hope you enjoyed today's game wherever you are, whenever, and wherever you see this. So long for now, everybody.